What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Champion Living Podcast, the only podcast crossing the lines between the sport of rodeo and fitness. Today's episode, we're talking all about the Optimal Performance Academy that we just got done wrapping up. It was an incredible week out at the Survey Ranch. Just cannot wait to catch up on all of it and kind of fill all of our listeners in on what goes down there. I know we've talked about it before, but this second edition was even more Tits McGee than the first one.
It's McGee. It was pretty.
How are you
amazing.
guys doing this morning? Good.
Yeah, I'd say that was an accurate description of what went on.
Yeah, tits.
You guys all
McGee.
home, settled in?
Yeah, that's how I
Settled in,
Tits
it
McGee.
would be it. Yeah,
Good.
home is accurate. Settled in would be maybe that's an overestimation of what's going on. But
How is both of you? I mean, the new ones. Paul's a little bit newer than Logan's. Are they getting settled into any kind of routine, or is that still?
yeah, the baby's great at our place. The older two kids definitely miss dad though while I was gone, and they are making up for it right now. So they have been getting on my nerves. I'm sure that's exactly how Heather felt all week though while I was gone. So
Probably.
I can't necessarily complain to her because she's just look at me like, yeah, welcome to it. But the funny thing was when I walked in the door, like I think I told you guys when we were there, I'd FaceTime the kids every night, and Charlie wouldn't talk to me at all. Like Heather would be like, "Oh, come talk to Dad," and she'd be like, "Mm-mm." And then she'd go hide behind the couch or something. And when I get home, she like comes running and she goes, "Daddy!" And I pick her up and I'm like, "Oh, did you miss me?" And she just looks me dead in the eye and goes, "I'm angry at you."
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's so funny. Pissed off.
She was
Never
she
leave
was
me
not
again.
happy that I left.
Never leave, Dad.
Yeah.
I don't think my kids care. They're like, whatever. That's not true.
Oh, that's
They do care,
awesome.
but they
Logan,
don't show,
how's it going
they
over
don't
at your
show
place?
emotion like they don't show emotion like that. They were happy that definitely happy that I'm home, and it was good to be back. But I feel the same way. I'm like, the whole drive home, which I had changed my flight, and I was gonna try to get home early or at a decent hour Thursday evening. Conley has an awards banquet for graduating kindergarten on the Friday morning. So I land and my flight gets delayed. I landed at like 1 and got home at like 3:30 and got a few hours sleep. So I'm tired, exhausted mentally, physically from the week that we had. And then mind that I get like 3 hours worth of sleep. And then the kids are like jumping on my face at 7 a.m. And I'm like, where did these goblins come from? Can I go back to Colorado already? Can I?
Yeah, I need
I
to.
Like, I need to go back and sleep. But it has been good to hang out. To get to spend some time with them and hang out with them this weekend. Lacey got and she got a little stomach bug. I'm blaming the church picnic. Church picnic, like pasta salad or potato salad at a church picnic, it's a horrible idea. I knew that.
I don't know why. Every
I'm like,
time. Not a good call. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not bringing like any side dishes. No, it's fried fish. Cool. Hush puppies. Fine. Dessert, obviously. But the side dishes, I'm probably going to pass on because I don't know who brought that. And I've seen some of y'all's houses. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen what takes place in there. I am not going to eat food that was made in those dishes. That's all I'm saying. So I just stuck to the safe stuff. I felt fine. Was definitely full and definitely blew my macros, which is completely okay. Totally worth it. Church picnic. It was calories for Jesus or whatever. So it's fine. But like Lacey, however, she had like 5 servings of like all the pasta and potato salads that they had to offer. And I'm like, that was a horrible idea. Sure enough, the next day she's not feeling very good. And she was actually, I knew it was bad because she was in bed all day yesterday, Monday. She was in bed till she got out of bed at 2:30 in the afternoon. So I just right about then I took the kids and the kids that I had to sleep over, so they were there. I took Cutler with me and we went down to the in-laws and hung out till bedtime and stuff. So she is much better today, back in the land of the living, obviously suffering the effects of very little food and water yesterday. So she's going to be a day or two before she's back to normal, but she is back to her motherly duties of laundry, praise the Lord, and doing some dishes and stuff like that. So we're moving, we're rocking and rolling. It's a week, and I'm so thrown off too with like landing on a Thursday night. It feels my trips. I always come home on Sunday, so then I come home Thursday night, and then it's a long weekend, and so I mean, I don't know what day it is and what's going. Like, it's just been it's been a mess the last week and a half. Feels like it's just been crazy.
Absolutely. I haven't known what day it is for at least the last week and a half.
Since I was 19.
Right? For the last decade, all right? And running full speed.
Full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead. But yeah, I was gonna tell you when you got delayed, right? Out of Denver. And this is a note and a legit note for any listeners. If you're flying this summer and you have to go through Denver or you're flying to Denver, do not do it past 3:00 in the afternoon because you will be delayed for sure with these storms rolling in. Yep. Richie and Paige, we went to Just Pope's wedding the day after we got back from the school, and Richie and Paige flew in, and I was stoked to see him. And so he's like landing at 4:00. I'm theoretically we're going to see them for maybe a late dinner or something that day when he gets in. And I'm like, did you land? He's like, yeah, cool. Like, where are you guys at? He's like, Colorado Springs. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, the ground stopped in Denver. So we had to divert to Colorado Springs. They sat on the tarmac for 4 hours in Colorado Springs, didn't let them off. They fueled them up just enough, like a bump of fuel, and said, send them back out. They get up to Denver to land again. Ground stop. They have to circle 45 minutes up north, come back around, and the pilot's like, we should have enough fuel to make it back to Denver. If not, we will gain some elevation and drop back into the springs and land there again. And Richie's like, this is it. This is when it happens. This is when you have a fucking plane crash, is when you're in the plane, you're in the air for way too long, way longer than you're supposed to. And he's like, I never get nervous, but I had it right there. I was over it. He's like, this is the day.
Man.
Them storms are real.
I learned my lesson on the flights. Like to not book the last flight coming in for the evening.
Do not.
I learned my lesson getting stuck in Atlanta, and I was like, oh, this sucks.
Oh yeah. It happens. And it's and I think the East Coast is the same. They get those weather patterns that are still stormy in the afternoon. So it was a double whammy for you. But that actually worked out well because you landed right when Chase landed and got you all scooped up, and it all worked out.
Yep.
All worked out. Let's get into it. What do you guys, I know we got a little outline here, but
yeah, I mean,
there's so much to talk about too.
You know, like, and I felt the same way at the first one too. The first OPA we did, I was like, I remember the first one we did, we went out to dinner that final night, and we were like, what just happened? Like, it's like that. It's that impactful, and we were already like trying to figure out how we could do it again, and here we are now on the other side of round two, and I'm like, I feel the same way. It's like we're kind of speechless at what's happened, and we've already got number 3 on the book, so we're rocking and rolling. We're just gonna keep pumping them out.
Yeah, the first one will always be special, I'm sure for all of us, like the first, because it's your first one. But in comparison to the first one thing that I really loved about doing it at the Survey Ranch was everybody getting to stay together. All the coaches, Chase Blythe, shooting content, we were all able to just do life together for 4 or 5 days. I mean, some of my most favorite memories will be of us just sitting around in the morning drinking coffee together before the school, or, doing our notifications on True Coach together, or whatever. Like, we just got to do life together. And the same token, a lot of the students camped. I mean, there were some real jankety tents, but I love it because they were doing whatever it took to be able to come and stay. And so they got to stay together and it was great. The first one was amazing, but it was like Paul and I stayed someplace else. Doug and some coaches had a hotel room. The students were at different hotels. So we all met together for the school, and then we might get to go do dinner together that evening, but then we all went our separate ways. And this was just much more of like just bro time and getting to spend time together. And that's one of the things that I loved about this location was the time that we got to spend with each other outside of the school itself.
Absolutely, man. And just like creating that camaraderie amongst the guys instant. Like
Yes.
off the bat, we did that, right?
Mm.
It is an individual sport. We all know that, but the guys you're around all year are going to be kind of the reason you make it or you don't. You've got to be surrounded by good people. And one of the things we wanted to get across the board is, yeah, you may not be best friends now. You may not see each other all the time, but you will see each other on the road and you will need a helping hand from someone. And so you got to make friends. You got to be buddies with everyone. And we always say bareback riders, like, none of your bareback riding buddies can help you pull your rigging at the rodeo, right? So having bronc riders that are good friends or, someone else that can help you is always a plus. So getting them to interact off the bat, we played some fun games and mixed them into the workouts and stuff like that at the end, which was creating a little competition, which was fun. But in the grand scheme of it just got them interacting a lot more together. And I felt like, dude, after the first 2 hours of day one, you could just sense the camaraderie and the family, that was going on there.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of my favorite parts.
To like the competition stuff like really, really well, which got me stoked because I thought that was neat to see. Especially that first day we paired them off, bronc riders versus bareback riders, and they were getting into it. So that was awesome, dude. But one of my favorite parts was this time we had 3 international students fly in
by far
only for this school. Yeah. Like that was the coolest thing in the world. One from
and not
Australia
just Canada or Mexico international, like
they flew halfway around the world, got in the night before, left the day after. Like, I mean, they specifically came to the United States to come and be a part of the school. And like that gave me chills. Like that they believed in what we were doing so much that they came all the way around the world to come hang out with us, basically.
Yeah, it is. To come from New Zealand and Australia to come to one of these schools, this is the epitome of what they would love to have in those countries, right? So to see them, man, not even just the fees to get into the school, but the plane tickets, like the 18-hour flights both ways. So that's 36 hours of time. They are investing probably everything close to they have right now to get here, and they got here and they all worked hard. And it was a meant to be thing, but having Jamie and Damo there, having 2 guys that came from Australia and made it in America and are professionally rodeoing was like the coolest thing for me to have there, and to show those guys that, it isn't just us 3 saying like, yeah, you can make it here. No, dude, there's 2 guys here that have done what you guys want to do. They've done this. They can help you get here. You can ask them all the questions you want right now and find out how you can get to this position and be a professional rodeo athlete in America, which again, we didn't plan it like that, but that's a God thing. It did, right place, right time, just the right things happening. I feel like,
dude, that sums it up perfectly. Like everything that's been going on with OPAs and kind of everything that we've been doing in this business lately. But like, that's when I was thinking about it the other night, before I went to bed, I was like, this is like 100% a God thing. Like there's like no way around it. Like, we've set our sights on it. But like these goals were so big that like, if God's hand wasn't in it, like they would be impossible. Like there was like, it's surreal. It's so surreal.
I think one of the most memorable parts for me was standing there listening to Brendan Crawley, who's been a client of mine for a while. He's one of the Australian bareback rider that came over, and I was just listening to a conversation that he had with Caleb Bennett. And he told Caleb, he said, you probably don't remember this, but 5 or 6 years ago, I won a contest with Silver Lining Herbs, and I got a phone call with you. And so it was at 3:00 my time. And Caleb was like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And they kind of hugged. Yeah, 3:00 in the morning. And he set his alarm. He said he couldn't hardly sleep because he was so excited as a bareback rider in Australia to get to talk with Caleb Bennett. And at 3:01, the phone didn't ring and he panicked. He was like, oh, no, there's something wrong. And about it, he didn't obviously know Caleb and that he's always late. And so, but about 3:05, the phone rang and they got to talk. And he remembered so much of their conversation. This was 6 years ago. And that, to me, it was, number one, really cool, for them to be able to have that moment. But more importantly, what it showed me is that what rodeo athletes are doing on the stage, it's not just about you. There are so many other people, not just in the US, but around the world, that are looking to you as an example of what to do and how to get there and how to make it. And it was just really cool that he remembered all of it. Even at the end, he said, at the very end, Caleb said, "All right, buddy, well, just don't come over here until I retire." And and Brendan said, "Hey, bud, it's about time. I'm coming to the States, so I need you to sit down. It's about my turn." And anyway, it was just, man, it was just really surreal that an event that we were able to have a part of in creating and putting on is connecting people that, I mean, Caleb has been a big shaper of Brendan's life. He lives on the other side of the world. And because of an event that we've put on, the catalyst for them to be able to meet and to help each other, like, that's what it's about. That's like changing lives. That's what it's about.
That is what it's all about, man. And Brendo is coming to the States. He got done with our school, and he's getting married in August. And his wife, or soon to be wife, he got on the phone the last day with her, and she's like, "Are you ready to do this now?" And he's like, "Yeah, like I'm confident, ready to go." She's like, "Okay, we're doing it." And so she bought their whole trip to come here and get his feet wet in rodeo here, and we're gonna be able to, he's gonna sit down with Bennett and Hallett and kind of plan out his run and do all that stuff, and we'll get to see him when they come over here. So I'm excited to meet his other part of his family and get him over here and see what he can get accomplished here, because I think that, man, there hasn't been a lot of good Aussie guys come around in a minute besides Hallett and those Bronc riders, and Logan, of course. Don't leave Logan out.
I don't know that I count, but thank you.
But like when I think about, like, Dave Worsfold is the last guy I can remember that came from Australia that was so ranked, dude, and with just like dirty spur stuff. So it's cool to see that next generation of Cowboy coming over to the States and hopefully being able to make it a little further than each guy in the generation before they did that. So I'm excited for Brendan. I'm excited for those guys from New Zealand as well. They took just a bucket full of knowledge back to spread to all their buddies, and so hopefully we'll get more of those guys across the pond here on their next schools, which will be really exciting. And my favorite part, or it wasn't my favorite. I had so many favorite parts, dude. There's so many things that have happened even after the school that I've gotten. And this is okay. I'm gonna jump to this. One of our Bronc riders, his mom messaged me yesterday, and she just sent me a video, and she said, "Dylan, sir, second place, Greeley, Nebraska, just at this rodeo today, at the Memorial Day rodeo." And she's like, "I cannot thank you guys enough for everything you did for him during that week. Like, he went and he won a rodeo. Like, he's winning money now." Just that confidence alone helped him get down the road and get to that next thing. And that's for me, that's what it's about, is we can do this and get you fired up all the time when we're in front of you and we're as together as a group, but being able to break it down to a point where they retain it to do it by themselves is huge. And that's the hardest part about any of this, is being able to do this by themselves. So that just tickled me to death yesterday to read that from a really, really supportive parent. And just to hear that, we are making a difference and we are doing things the right way. I felt like this school was we just had a lot more things for the guys as well. We provided a lot more value. Our partners really, really showed up for us this school, and it just, I don't know why it makes me feel like it's more legit, but when you have like just more value to give to them, we're showing them products, we're showing them tons of, nutrition supplements, gear products. We've got financial advisors coming in, offering their advice on how they can manage their money better. Everything that we weren't an expert in, we found experts in to do what we needed to. And I think that's what really elevates this class and this course is, we're not just teaching the limited things that only we know. I'm very understanding and aware that I don't know everything. And there are a lot of people out there that know a lot more than me. So those are the people that, if I'm not an expert, I'm finding them and I'm having them come in and teach. And that's the best thing we can do. And that's only provides more value for the students and us. I feel like I learned something every time from them talking to.
But that was another cool part. That the fact that the partners did jump on and support us this time, because we were able to give away, like goodie bags. They got a goodie bag from Greeley Hat Works. They got some stuff from Beastmaster. Nick and Junior from Beastmaster got to come out and hang out for a few days and kind of give them the lowdown on all their equipment and how they're trying to position themselves in their industry. And I think that speaks volumes to those guys. And I think they really appreciated having, a gear supplier there and, asking them questions, and they could ask Beastmaster questions, and like kind of that back and forth exchange. Just the value in that alone, I think, was huge.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And another one of my favorite things about it was the products that were presented to the kids or the students were not presented as a end all be all, or like this is all you can take. We and the other instructors and people presenting were very, very good about saying these are just options, guys. Like, just because we use it does not mean it is the right fit for you. There's a million things that go into a decision like that. The quality of the product's one, the price of the product is two. Like, there's a lot of things that come up and may not fit into everybody's life, but that's why we show them different options for everything. We showed them different versions of supplements. We showed them, Beastmaster Rodeo. And my favorite part about Nick is like, hey man, yeah, this is not the only place to get what we sell, but we are one of the only companies that are putting in this field research and showing up and asking questions to athletes, to producers. Like, they were talking to the pickup man. They were trading them, leggings. Like, please try these and let us know what you think so we can make them better for the sport, right? And that's what I love about Beastmaster, and I love about all the companies that we work with, is everyone's trying to just make it better for the whole space in general. So big shout out to Nick Leica and Junior, who came out from Beastmaster Rodeo, brought rigging bags for all the guys. Like, that right there just made me feel. I remember when I got my first thing like that when I was a young athlete. It just makes you feel like you're on that professional level. Makes you feel like you're just walking around with your head a little bit higher, and you got your stuff together. So that was cool, and I cannot thank them enough for coming up. And guys, if you need any rodeo gear, make sure you check beastmasterrodeo.com out. You can use our discount code Champion Living, all one word, caps lock. Going to save you 10% on all their products. Best customer service out there. They'll have those things shipped to you quick, guys. What about you guys learn any lessons after doing this second OPA that are different than the first one? Or
I think kind of what you were hinting on earlier with, Caleb being a role model to people, even though he might not have seen himself as that. I think we kind of included that a little bit better this time, as, setting these guys up not only to be professionals, as businessmen, as athletes, but we harped on the fact that, they need to be a role model for the next generation as well. Right. And that they need to present themselves in the sport in a way that's going to be a light for, the people coming up behind them. And so I think that was a really big eye opener for me, that, it doesn't end here. Like, it doesn't end with them. Like, if we can create people, not create people, but if we can create an atmosphere where people are learning, and then they learn to also be teachers, like, how big can this thing multiply 10 years from now? Yeah. We're multiplying. We're pouring into 20 people, and those 20 people can pour into another 20 people. And so by the 5-10 years down the road, it's become huge. The impact has. So that's the big one for me.
That's awesome, dude.
I couldn't agree with that more. And I think for me, this isn't necessarily a lesson that I learned the first time here, but something that was really affirmed in me is the importance of having great stock and having appropriate stock for the students. And being
appropriate stock
able
is the big thing.
To talk to the stock contractor, find out what this horse is, and then match it up with a rider that is going to be able to learn something by doing that. I had this thought there. A lot of rodeo schools you go to, whether it be an Ace High or whether it be the one that I do in Murray, like there's a lot of really good rodeo schools out there, and there might be 20, 30, 40 kids that are there, and over the course of the whole weekend you have 2 or 3 light bulb moments where you see the student like while they're riding, the switch flips and they're able to set their feet for the first time or something. And those are what a rodeo school is all about for me. That's what lets me know we're moving people forward. And at our OPAs, at the first one as well as at this one, we are able to have those light bulb moments, multiple of them every single day. Every third horse we buck, somebody is figuring something out. And it all goes back to the diligent work of making sure we have the appropriate stock and we match it with the appropriate rider. And they can leave there, like the mom you heard from, Dylan can leave there very confident in his abilities because he's been matched up on stuff that's appropriate for him. And he's been able to actually fine tune his skills, not just fight for survival for 8 seconds. And not learn a whole lot. That to me is like, yes, we're on the right track and we're doing things correctly. We need to just keep on keeping on, and this is going to change the way rodeo schools are done.
Man, could not agree with that more. And that's what I'm taking away from number 2 is we're doing it right.
Yes.
I'm someone who, I don't battle with this, but I'm always like, got that thought like, ooh, is this going to work? Like, theoretically, I see it in my brain. It works out. I get it. But like, is this really going to work out for us? And it has. It's worked out both times. And like you said, it really is changing how we look at rodeo schools. And dude, there's nothing wrong with the way rodeo schools were. We came up through those.
Yes.
But what they do is they get people an introduction to the sport, which is great. I think that's fantastic. And most of those are free, those kinds of schools. So the reason that they're free is because you are providing a service for the shot contractor of getting on his colts for him and seeing what happens, right? The difference with us is you're paying money. You're paying a solid amount of money to come, but you're getting things in trade for that. You're getting horses. You're getting a lot more controlled environment. We can control so much more with seasoned horses. You can learn so much more on seasoned horses. I get the old school way of thinking colts are younger, therefore not able to produce as much power. But that is not the case anymore. Horses are raised differently. They're bred differently. I'm not going to say it too loud, but they're given things when they're younger at times to make them grow faster. Yep. And so therefore you get 2 and 3 year olds, 4-year-olds that are the size of what would have been back in the day. They're full seasoned horses at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that are doing things that they couldn't do back in the day. So I watched some 3-year-olds go that had never been bucked before, and I would have 22 or 23'd them. Yep. And it's like, that's badass for the stock contractor and for the future of bucking horses. But to put a kid on there and expect him to try and learn or even feel what it's like to make that next jump on something that's putting 22 or 23 points up there as an animal it's not feasible. Yep. And so being able to control these animals, and not control the animals, but control the caliber of animal that they're getting on. It's not a Russian roulette or a jackpot, like draw it, like, oh, hopefully that one works, We know what they're getting on. We know we've spent 2 days on the ground to the point where they're so sick of fundamentals that I think they could probably cry. But we get to day 3, and that's what molds those next 2 days is they are so hungry for it and they are so fired up. And we've drilled so many perfect reps into them and fixed those things that they came there to fix over the 48 hours of just skill work, work out, figure out how that your muscles apply to your skill work more. And then there's light bulb moments without even getting on horses. Before we even load a horse, there's light bulb moments happening. And so you get 20 guys that are coming off of 2 days of being very successful, feeling confident in what they're doing because they fixed their things that they need to work on. You load them up a horse that a 18 point just jump kicker, dude, they're going to learn so much. They're going to spur that horse. They may actually spur a horse for the first time. And we saw that probably 10 times this week. Like we had guys that hadn't been on that many. There were a good handful that had been on a lot, and there were a good handful that had only been on about 20 or 30. And we saw big jumps made. We saw guys accomplishing all the stuff that we wish we could have done at that age. I'm jealous mildly of what they get to experience and the confidence they're gaining at such a young age. And I'm just so fired up for the sport and the future of it, man. We talked, like you were saying, ambassadors for the sport. That's what we need. We need ambassadors. We need people that are going to help the sport grow. And that was the coolest thing was we taught kids how to learn it, but those advanced kids by the end were teaching it a little bit, to their buddies and helping them and giving them good cues. I went to the Ace High School the first day, the day after ours. 5 of our guys stayed for half a day just to help them with the younger guys, with the new guys that hadn't been on any. And I was like, that right there shows what they took away from this. They're there not because they have to. They're there to help. They want to see the sport grow. They want to take all these things they just learned they're excited about and make someone else excited about it. And that's how we get to a really, really positive place, right?
Yep, absolutely.
It's cool, man.
Yeah,
it's
it
really,
is.
Really cool.
The sport is the sport is changing, and we're so fortunate to be able to be a small part of that. And these OPAs are a critical piece of the puzzle that is going to continue to help the caliber, the knowledge base of these young contestants, just level up, which just levels up their career. And it's really, really exciting to see this at the ground level.
It is, man. And, beyond just the riding, everything we're providing in the classroom setting is essential for any rodeo athlete. Teaching, about entering, how to use the PRCA website. All those things have changed with ProCom. So you have to know how to enter online, you have to know how to pay your fees online. You got to check your draws online. Like everything is online now, which is great. You don't have to wait on an office to open or anything like that. You can enter whenever, but nobody knows about that because it's so new. So we did a whole class about that, teaching about the PRCA and how to enter rodeos online and use the new system. Is there anywhere else that you can do that right now? To my knowledge, absolutely not. There isn't even a YouTube video on the PRCA that you can find that at. So that right there, to me, just shows that we're really setting the tone for what needs to be happening when it comes to preparation and just the level that these professional associations need to be at, right? So if we can help them spread the word about how to do it, we're only making that go smoother. Along with that, workouts, nutrition, the financial planning. We had Jeff Smith come in and talk about budgeting, how to create a budget, what expenses look like for them as rodeo athletes, the benefits of setting up an LLC or something like that. Didn't get too in depth about that, just very basic stuff, but he covered a great amount of information that they left with they could use now and set themselves up in such a better place. So I love seeing where this is headed. I really think that we are going to try and make this bleed out into all the other events. Obviously, we'll not be teaching breakaway roping, but I would love to do the classroom session with some outstanding breakaway ropers that could teach the skills part, and we could teach the other things about that. So if any listeners would be interested in that, an OPA for a different event besides horse riding, please shoot us a DM. Let's get it started. Let's get it planned. We would love to start spreading this out to all the other events in rodeo. And I think that it's only going to be beneficial even if you've been pro rodeoing for a long time, this could really, really help you just because the knowledge hasn't been out there that long. But if you're a young athlete, this is definitely something you want to jump in and get a part of, be a part of, because it's the next level. And we're setting the tone for it. So I'm excited, guys. You know what I'm also excited about? This is episode 100.
100 episodes.
100 episodes.
God, who would have thought people would let us talk for 100 episodes?
Oh man, it is crazy,
dude. It is crazy. It's awesome. I love doing these podcasts, man. I love getting on here and just chatting with you guys and talking about everything that we do. Not only have we hit 100 episodes, which is kind of a landmark, benchmark, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's a big benchmark.
But we have passed 100,000 downloads, which thank you everybody for listening, for supporting us. When I think about 100,000 people listening to us, it blows my mind a little bit. So I just could not be more appreciative, guys. It's kind of like a dream. It's really, really, really awesome. And I'm a little bit speechless about it, but thank you for everybody listening. And thank you for spreading the word about what we're doing. I'm hoping this is a sign that we are doing good things and that people will continue to find value in what we're doing. So if there's any other ways we can add value to anything or anybody out there, please, again, shoot us a message. We'd love to address that and help you guys out in any way we can. But here's to 100 episodes and 100,000 downloads, dudes. Pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool. I wish I had a shot to drink right now, but all I got is LaCroix.
I got some coffee.
We'll have a LaCroix toast.
Yeah. what do you guys got planned for the rest of the week? You guys got big things coming up, or do we get a break or no? I don't get a break. You guys do.
Yeah, you're
We
buying the
moving to
house, so-
Montana, son.
Yeah, nope. I have no idea. Day by day. I
Paul
don't even
just
know what
likes
today
to
is.
take it. Paul just likes to take it as it comes, baby. Takes it as it
Day
comes.
by day.
I have one weekend left off for the foreseeable future, which is this weekend. So I think I am going to splurge, and I'm going to go to Sam's Club, and I'm going to buy a $350 inflatable pool. It's like an inflatable, like a water slide, slip and slide pool area. And Lacey told me absolutely not the other day, which is just code for yes, please do it. Just don't ask me.
Yes, please do it. Yeah.
And so I'm going to go and do that. And Saturday, even it's supposed to be 93 on Saturday. And I think in the evening time, we're going to invite a bunch of Conley and Cannon's friends from school and their families over. Maybe some of our rodeo families over. We'll grill out, cook out. We might buck some sheep. Who knows? Buck some sheep with a B. Buck some sheep, and we'll have the inflatable slide, and we'll just let the kids run and play. And I'm going to try to live up this last weekend home with the family as much as we can, and then we get to rolling. We've got between local rodeos here and High-Low Rodeo and El Paso in June, and our responsibilities with Champion Living and the team season starting back up, and just all the things. It's going to be pretty wild and woolly for this summer till I'd love to say October, but who knows? October will be busy, and then we'll have the finals and potentially OPA, and so until January. It's gonna be rolling
Until death do us part.
forever. Yeah, it's gonna be rolling. So I think that's what I'm gonna try to do. I haven't talked about any of that to Lacey yet, so this literally could just be a pipe dream. She might put the kibosh on it, but that's what I would love to do this weekend.
Heck yeah, dude. That sounds fun. We're packing. We're getting ready to move to Montana. We're moving up north. Yeah, for all of you that don't know, we're heading to Montana, just south of Missoula. Found a place right next to my brother, and excited to get up there. And I love Colorado, man, but I'm ready to get out of here. There's damn commies that are infiltrating. But we're excited, man. And yeah, Logan's next week. Your work involves driving up with me to Montana, so that will be fun. And I do appreciate you doing that with me.
Yeah, no, it's for sure. It's gonna be great. Just road tripping by myself. I'm gonna be driving a separate vehicle, so nice. I really offered because I was like, Colorado's not that far from Montana, so it can't be that hard.
It's not. It's
I was
only
like, how far is
drive.
I was like, how far is the drive? You're like 12 hours. I'm like, oh, cool. So actually, turns out I'm really busy next week. I have a lot of other responsibilities.
A lot of appointments I forgot about.
A lot of appointments I forgot about. But no. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be helping move. So got that for a couple days, and then we have a junior rodeo next weekend. So we'll see if I can't get Cannon to eat some dirt on some sheep and break the dummy and stuff. I'll fly back in just in time for that.
Heck yeah, dude. Guys, we're going to include a couple clips from our top episodes that you guys can check out. If you haven't listened to them, I definitely encourage you to go back and check them out. They're outstanding episodes. A lot of them are with some of our favorite people and our athletes that we work with. So check them out. Josh Frost, Sage Kimzey's episodes, I know, are some of those tops. So they're great, y'all. But until next time, we'll catch you later.